Labor only holds 5 seats in Queensland, and one of those it's trying to hang on to is the electorate of Blair to the west of Brisbane. Our state political reporter Jack McKay is in Ipswich for us tonight. Jack, what are the big election issues there for residents?
Well, Talissa, cost of living is shaping up as a key issue here for voters in Blair, just as it is across the entire country. In Ipswich, residents are grappling with one of the highest rates of rental stress and one of the highest rates of mortgage stress in the state. We know that both major parties are homing in on cost of living relief in their bid to win the May 3 election, both offering up different policies. Labor is spruiking their tax cuts for the lowest tax rates, and the coalition is pushing their proposal to halve the fuel excise for 12 months. You'll soon hear from the Federal Treasurer Jim Chalmers, but first here's our Ipswich reporter Tobi Loftus, who spoke with some of the locals doing it tough.
For the bridge up?
There's someone absent in Paris Busra's life.
It brings its stresses, it brings its loneliness, it brings its struggles.
For half the year, her husband is a fly-in, fly-out worker in far north Queensland.
Got you. High five. High five.
It's a sacrifice the couple have to make to raise their son Simmer in the Ipswich suburb of Ripley.
Obviously there isn't a lot of local jobs within the shipping industry, and if there is, they aren't as high paying, which would probably mean I would have to work full time. Me and Simmer would have to go into childcare full time.
Like many young families, they're counting every dollar.
The biggest cost is our mortgage, and then you add a child onto that. You know, money flies.
Their home falls in the federal electorate of Blair, a seat to watch come polling day. Held by Labor since 2007 on a margin of 5.2%, it's by no means a safe seat.
I understand Labor is spending quite a lot of money on Blair. It's a seat that I'd call you'd want to see sandbagged, is the term, to protect it.
A recent ABC analysis found the area has the highest rate of household stress in Queensland. More than 77% of households are feeling some form of financial stress. 66% with mortgages are feeling the pinch, while for renters, it's a whopping 91%.
If you map financial stress, you'll find it strongest in areas where you find aspirational Australians, people that have a mortgage. 4 in 10 households in Blair have a mortgage.
Margaret Fielder is one of those struggling.
Quite frankly, I cannot afford to pay the prices that's demanded of food in the supermarkets these days and pay my bills.
The former nurse lost more than $1 million during the global financial crisis.
Went from rags to riches and then back to rags again.
The thought of extra bills coming in fills her with dread.
I just have to be very careful not to get into debt because I don't have any money in the bank.
She's not alone. Right across Ipswich, housing stress and the cost of living are front of mind.
The rental is too high and that property is also too high. Within a single earnings, we can't afford any new home.
Just paying rent, food, electricity, everything, yeah. I sort of just take it day by day, especially when you've got 3 kids.
It takes every cent to have a home and then, you're eating 2-minute noodles.
Back in Ripley, Paris Busra hopes to see real action on mortgage stress during the election campaign.
Mortgage payments nearly work out to $900 a week. No average person can afford that, you add that on, plus other cost of living, people struggle.
Tobi Loftus reporting there. Now, as you've just heard, the electorate of Blair is currently held by Labor's Shane Newman with a margin of 5.2%. In this election, he's squaring off against the LNP's Carl Mutzelberg. Now, that 5.2% margin makes Blair the most marginal seat that Labor holds in the state of Queensland. Indeed, over the last 2 federal elections, Labor has consistently lost seats here in Queensland. They're hoping to turn this around in this federal poll. There's 3 seats in particular that they're targeting. They include Leichhardt in the state's north, currently held by the Coalition, as well as Griffith and Brisbane, both in the state's southeast, both held by the Greens. And they're also making efforts to sandbag this seat here in Blair. The federal treasurer was in town today to announce $200 million to upgrade the Amberley interchange. I also spoke with the treasurer about the household pressures locals are facing. Treasurer Jim Chalmers, thanks for joining me. We're in the electorate of Blair. This is an electorate with a high level of household and financial stress. Why should voters who feel worse off now compared to 3 years ago give you and Labor another 3 years in power?
Well, because this Albanese Labor government is helping people with the cost of living in an immediate way and in an ongoing way. Tax cuts for every taxpayer rolling out right now and topped up if we win the election. Energy bill rebates, cheaper medicines, cutting student debt. These are all of the ways that we're not just acknowledging people are under pressure, we're doing something about it. And again, a pretty important contrast. Higher wages, lower taxes and ongoing help with the cost of living under Labor, or higher taxes, lower wages and no ongoing help with the cost of living under Peter Dutton.
The $150 energy bill rebate that will start next financial year, is that the only immediate short-term cost of living relief that voters can expect from a Labor government?
Well, first of all, there are energy rebates rolling out right now, and we've said that we'll extend that for another 6 months, as you say in your question. But also there is more immediate help when it comes to the ways that we're strengthening Medicare, the ways that we're making medicines cheaper, the way that we propose to cut student debt. And so there's immediate help and there's ongoing help. Under Peter Dutton, there is no ongoing help with the cost of living.
You've been out and about this week stoking expectations of an interest rate cut next month. Why are you confident that interest rates will be cut so soon, so quick?
Well, I don't make predictions about decisions that the Reserve Bank will take independently. The market is certainly expecting a series of rate cuts, but the board and the governor will determine that independently. I'm focused on my job. Our economic plan, which puts us in good stead amidst all of this global economic uncertainty, is helping with the cost of living, cutting income taxes and investing in local communities, because that's the best way to build Australia's future and make us more resilient in uncertain times.
There are a lot of renters in this electorate who are also feeling the pinch. Do you want rents to come down?
Well, we've provided 2 rounds of Commonwealth rent assistance because we know that rent is one of those important cost of living pressures.
So just to cut in there, you have to be, I believe, a recipient of benefits to get that though. What about those who don't get those benefits?
Well, this is one of the motivations for our efforts to build 1.2 million more homes. We don't have enough homes for people to buy or rent. That's why we're building way more. $33 billion investment, the most of any government, is all about building more homes so that if you're renting, you can find somewhere to rent. If you're looking to buy, that there are more options for you at the same time as we help with rent assistance.
Treasurer Jim Chalmers, thank you.
Thanks very much, Jack.